Most of us think about spring cleaning, and that's the time where we're going to take everything out and do a big declutter. But if you're not doing a winter declutter, you are missing out on a really easy and simple time to get rid of a lot of the excess. So today we're gonna go through 5 different areas in our homes that we can declutter right now before we're putting all our holiday stuff away and not bring that extra baggage into 2025. So let's grab our trash bags, and I'm gonna head downstairs because that's where I'm gonna show you the first area I want you to declutter. Please forgive all the clothes that are drying behind me. I just finished a load, so those are gonna happen right there. But the first thing that I want you to look for are those holiday boxes where we like to store our favorite ornaments or the decor we like to put out every year. And also those wonderful pieces of holiday gear, the wear, the clothes, the sweaters that we have either been given or collected over the years. This one in particular is gonna go this year because none of us wore it. It's not my favorite, and it is a little bit too small for my husband. So this one can definitely go. I'm gonna have to ask my husband about this shirt because he didn't wear it this year. It's still sitting in the Christmas box. So before we're gonna put our Christmas decor back away, it's a great idea to go through, especially like thinking about things like the cords. We recently got a bunch of lights that we put on our tree in the backyard, and we got them from my mother-in-law. She never used them, so she passed them down. But each one of them came with its own set of cords. And the way we're using the lights, we hook them all together, so you really only need one cord. Are you still hanging on to the lights or the cords that are pretty useless? Those are definitely something that you can leave in 2024 and not bring with you. For us, what we like to do is we keep all of our holiday decor, no matter what holiday it is, in 2 different boxes that we keep in our attic. So because those boxes are already brought out right now, this is a great time to go through every single holiday and think about, did I actually use this item? So this one in particular is a little bed we had bought for my dog, but it is way too small for him, and we didn't realize that till we brought it home. So this is going to go back to the thrift store that it came from. So something that I would challenge you to do this year as you're doing your declutter of your Christmas boxes is to set a boundary. Whether it's, I just want to get down to 5 boxes, or you're like me where you have 2 boxes for basically all the holidays, you get to choose. But it's very important to set a boundary for your holiday stuff, or it very easily will start exploding out of that area. Because holiday decor is fun to get, right? It's fun to buy. But it is important to remember that though these things are easily out of sight, out of mind, in our attic, in our closet, they do take up our threshold. They do take up space. And if we're taking our homes back this year and we are no longer using them as storage units, then this is a very important step. The next thing that's really hard to get rid of are sentimental items, whether it's things that people have given us or we've collected over the years and we put a lot of value on them. It is difficult, but I challenge you this year that if you have several things in your home that you're not really enjoying or using, but you feel trapped by them because they're supposed to be sentimental, this is the year to let that feeling go. Let me know if you've had the same situation in the comments down below. But when it comes to sentimental items, my family is extremely generous and they want to give me these items like nativity sets for the holidays if I want them. And so when I do take them, I just like to preface with the fact that, hey, if you tell me you want these things back, that's totally fine. I will let you know when I'm ready to let them go. But if you don't tell me that, then when I am ready to let them go, That's up to me because I'm the new owner of the item. This can sound harsh, but it's just the reality. If they wanted that sentimental item, they wouldn't have given it to you. So, so I want you to release that guilt if you've been hanging on to something for far, far, far too long and you never bring it out of the box and you don't really enjoy looking at it, then it's time to let that one go. One of my favorite stories that recently happened having to do with sentimental items was dealing with the nativity set that my grandma had given me. It was actually the one she had growing up that was from her grandmother. And so it, yes, had a lot of value. And I did go back and ask my mom if she wanted it back when I was ready to let it go, because my mom gave me this one, which is much more kid friendly. And so the great thing that happened was that my aunt happened to be in town and she cried and was so excited to have this nativity set that she so vividly remembered when she was growing up, where I felt like that nativity set was just a little too overwhelming for me, just a little bit too much for me to take care of. I was able to find someone who could then really enjoy it, which that's the whole point of our things, right? Our things should be helping us or should be enjoyable to us. And if they're not, then it's time to let them go. The winter gear can so easily add up, right? It really is something that you need to be very careful about, because if you're not, you're gonna end up with 4 or 5 large coats when you're really only wearing one. So let's see what we have. So this is Old Faithful, which you guys have seen many times. I am gonna go ahead and donate this to one of the coat drives that are in our area, because this is a time when a lot of people are desperate to keep warm. There's no point in us keeping way more than we need. So far, my daughter has 2 jackets, a lighter one and the one she's wearing today. I have 2 jackets, same thing. I have a heavy winter coat and a lighter jacket. And then my husband has his 2, which I guess are both at work right now because they're not in this closet. Let's go through all the winter accessories. So I like to take all of them out and separate them into the person that they belong to. It helps me have a better visual of how many each person has. Okay, so as I'm looking through, I have my 1 scarf and my 1 pair of gloves, and I have a beach hat, and I have 2 hats. One's lighter, one's heavier. I think I'm actually gonna get rid of the lighter hat because what I found is that I never reach for it. If I'm gonna wear a hat, I want it to really be a hat and feel really good on my head, be warm, and exactly what I want. So this lighter hat is gonna go in the bag with my coat. And then I noticed my daughter has 3 pairs of gloves. It kind of depends on your child. If you have a child that loses their gloves all the time, yeah, sure, maybe have a few extra. But for me, I'm thinking that 2 pairs of gloves, these are the 2 she always reaches for. And they also fit the bill for things like being waterproof and not. So this extra pair, I'm gonna go ahead and put with the hat. But really everything else, I think we are good with. The other thing, just like with our Christmas holiday decor, is that I want to make sure that I am staying within my given boundary. I decided a while ago that this was the bin that I wanted to have for the hats, gloves, coats, scarves. The great thing about that is that I set myself up for success because I knew that I can't handle more than what's in this basket. And so if it can fit in the basket, then great. If it can't, that means it's time to declutter. Now you could do that same thing if you have a lot of shoes. So I have baskets down at the bottom of this closet where I keep my shoes. And for me, it helps me to stay, like I said, within the boundary of the basket so that I know I'm not going over my threshold. But that being said, these 2 things are going in the coat bag, and then we're gonna head over to the next thing that I want you to declutter before 2025. All right, so this next one can be very overwhelming, but I challenge you to do some of this before 2025 comes in, and that is to declutter some of the excess toys or just randomness that you find around your house. Whether you still have children at home or not, there are things that we could probably call toys in our home that start to take up a lot of space, whether it's our craft supplies or the art pieces that we started and never finished, even books. I would put into this category. The books that we had really high hopes of starting, but it's just never going to happen. It's too much of a project. It's time to start decluttering those. So when it comes to my daughter's toys, the easiest thing for me to do as I'm helping her declutter is to look for things that are obvious trash. This is a dried up piece of clay that she ended up not making into anything. Do we need to keep this? No. This is an easy yes. This can go. Helping your kids declutter toys is a whole nother video that I have made. Today, I challenge you to find between 5 and 10 things in your home that you could declutter, that you could put in the toy category. Doesn't matter if you have kids or not. Like I said, they can be books, crafts, supplies, things that you just started and never finished, that you have around your house that are easy yeses. This is going to help you go into 2025 a little bit lighter and not have all those never finished crafts in the back of your head. Okay, so our last challenge for today is to go through very quickly your clothing, and I want you to spot a few things. The first thing I want you to look for are those pieces of clothing that are just easy yeses. They can go. Look, this is all stained. I don't know how many times I have tried to get this stain out with Clorox, and it just isn't working. You could use these clothing pieces as rags. You could donate them to a dog shelter, or you could just say, hey, I'm ready to let it go. Either way, the best answer is yes. Get rid of these things out of your house before the new year starts. Don't go into this new year feeling overwhelmed by a bunch of things that are easy to get rid of. The other thing I want you to look for in your closet are 2 to 3 things that don't feel good on your body, whether they are too small, whether they are too big. And for me, the big one is, does the fabric not feel right on my body? I can't stand if something is itchy or a weird texture. Those have to go. So today, as we're looking for those few things in our closets, we are going to remember that these things are not making us our best self. They are making our life a lot more difficult. So therefore, you are setting yourself up for success as we go into 2025. If you enjoy learning about minimalism, then please subscribe to this channel. And of course, if you are decluttering here with us, then throw a heart emoji down below. This was a super fast, quick 5-item list, and I wanted to keep it like that because decluttering doesn't always mean that you have to spend all day doing this. I want you to just find a few things in each of these 5 categories and move on with your life, knowing that as you go into 2025, you are becoming a more decluttered, a more simple, a less anxious, and better you. So if you want to continue learning about minimalism, then please click on one of the videos right here, and I wish you guys all the very best.